Hello everyone, I'm Alicia. Welcome to my Beautiful Nights channel. For this video, I wanted to show you guys the 4 designs I have made using materials from Softflex Company's Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend kit. And when I had opened this kit and I started playing with the beads, I immediately thought, I gotta make a whole bunch of bracelets, as many as I can. And so I started laying out my beads on a bracelet design board, and I ended up coming up with 5 bracelets. I wanted 4 of them to be stretch and 1 of them to be made with this sterling silver. This wire is amazing. This sterling silver Extreme Flex wire, it is the softest wire I've ever played with. And it says that it's 19 strand, but I swear it feels softer than that. It is crazy amazing. It's the nicest I have used so far. Anyways, so I wanted 1 done with wire and 4 stretch. And I ended up realizing that I was not going to be able to do 5 bracelets because some of the beads that I was working with had super tiny holes, and my smallest elastic cord is 0.7 millimeter. Now I do have 0.5, but it's really old stuff, maybe almost a decade old, but it's that Stretch Magic stuff and it's not the best quality. And I don't like using it that thin for bracelets because I feel like it's too weak and brittle. I like to use 1 millimeter or 7 if I have tiny holes. But anyways, the 7 would not have worked because it was too thick to go through these beads. So I thought, well, you know what? Let's do 2 stretch bracelets because these here have perfect size hole for using the 1 millimeter elastic cord. And this one I will do with the wire, and I'll make, if I can, a necklace. And the necklace has turned out to be probably one of my most favorite pieces here. It's really beautiful, and I'm really excited about this. I'll show you this one last. But if you are into making stretch bracelets, I really recommend this, and I've talked about this in several of my videos. Use Griffin elastic cord. I will link it down there below in the description bar. If you don't see it, let me know. I just have so many things to do that sometimes I forget to do something, but I will get it for you and put it down there. I got it from Amazon. The 1 millimeter is my favorite, and I've also used the 0.7 if I'm using beads with smaller holes. But that stuff is permanent elasticity. The cord does not rot. It doesn't get brittle like Magic, what's it called? Stretch Magic? That stuff is junk. And I've had the same spool for I think almost 12 years now. No rotting, no decaying. All my bracelets are still working. It's just amazing stuff. I've talked about it in previous videos. Alright, so I think this was the first one that I did. I had all my patterns laid out. I think I did this one first, this one, and I ended up doing this necklace, and these are my leftovers. So I used the 1 millimeter Griffin elastic cord, and these beads had 2 of them, right? But they were different. This one has more facets, and this one only has the one in the middle there, and this one actually looks like the back of this one. So that was a little unusual. So I just did 1 bracelet with it, and I kind of wish that I put these silver glass beads here instead of these, but I actually had planned to use those somewhere else. I think it was in this one, and then I ended up not doing it. I went with this because all of these beads are kind of like the same size, and the bracelet flowed together really nicely. So that's why I didn't end up using those, but I kind of wish I used them in here instead. So I have that big bead. One of my knots is in this bead right here. You can see it inside of that bead. I pulled it in there. I actually tied 2 knots to the cord, and the hole is so thick that I pulled, or so big that I pulled the knot into it. But I have that rectangle bead, the 2 cage beads with a little diamond in it, the bicones on the sides. I did rondelle, pearl, this bead, pearl, the rondelle, and this, and I repeated that pattern all the way around so that it was continuous, and that is my elastic bracelet right there. Okay, and this one here is definitely my favorite out of the 2 stretchy ones. This pave bead is so darn pretty, and the issue I was having with this one is I didn't have enough beads. It was almost 7 inches, and because these beads are super chunky, I knew I needed more beads. And if I took away from somewhere else, I actually couldn't. I could not take away from somewhere else, and the reason why is because it would screw up a pattern for something else, and so then a couple of beads would be going to this to make this a little bit longer, but then I couldn't do anything with another pattern. And so I did what I always do, and I brought in seed beads, 6O seed beads. And I just put 6O black seed beads beside the pink pave crystal beads, and it gave me the perfect length. So I think this is 8 inches, but because this, I think it's 8. It could be 7.5. But because this is so super duper chunky, these beads, it's going to fit smaller on your wrist. So this is a ceramic beads, and here are these beautiful flowers, and my knot is in there. And because this bead has such a huge hole, you can make really big knots that will never come undone and hide them into holes like that. That's something I really like doing, is using huge honkin' beads, just one, maybe a large hole metal bead, or like the metal, it's an acrylic bead, has a metal coating on it, but they're gorgeous. They're so beautiful. You can hide knots in those beads really well. Alright, so this one here is definitely a fave. I played around with the colors. I could have done 2 white here, 2 white here, and then the clear here, but I loved doing it this way instead. The ceramic bead, clear, seed bead, the pave, and then the white. And then I have the rondelle. This is another ceramic bead, okay, and a rondelle. So it's here. This pattern repeats. So here's 1, here is 2, 3, and then here again. Now both of these designs had to be a continuous bracelet, so they had to be elastic bracelets because of how this was. So this would not have worked for me if I put a clasp in it. It would have been way too long, and I couldn't keep a symmetrical pattern going. Makes sense? So these had to be elastic in order to keep that continuous pattern. Now this one here is definitely my favorite bracelet. I wanted this one to be really special because I love the toggle that they gave us. The toggle is so gorgeous. They're really thick jump rings on them. These were actually almost like soldered shut because they were not lined up. They were kind of like this, so I had to bend them back. But when I went to bend them back, they were like the plating, I guess, had them stuck together, and it made a snap sound. But that is just so cute. I love that super chunky toggle, and because these, are jump rings, I thought I should use wire guards, and so I did. Now they're not sterling silver wire guards, but the crimps are, and this clasp is not sterling. But here is my little pattern. Now they gave us these bicones, which I don't know if they're really fancy check. They can be, or Swarovski. They're amazing quality. But these CZ rondelles here, someone told me in a comment that they thought that they were cubic zirconian because I just saw CZ and I thought, check. And I was like, oh my gosh, yeah, I think they're right, because several years ago I had bought something from Macari and there was cubic zirconian beads in the hoard of stuff that I got. They were amazing, but they look an awful lot like these here. So I wanted to do something really fancy with them, and I was struggling because there was only 5 of them. So this is the pattern that I came up with. This is a symmetrical bracelet, as you could see, okay? I played around with these beads in this more than anything else because I was trying to get the perfect length, and I had to take into account how long my toggle would be, right? So this is the center of my bracelet. I have the forget-me-not and the rondelle, and there's 5 rondelles, 6 forget-me-nots at the beginning, and you can see how it starts. And then I have 2 pearls, and I had to bring in some seed beads, so just a few seed beads. These are 11O hematite check seed beads. This dark pink, okay, and I went down to the lighter color. There was 8 bicones. 2 of them were the same exact color as these here, so I used them here on the top, so I'll go over that at the end. Alright, so I did that fuchsia there, 2 pearls, the seed beads on the sides. There is the medium pink color, there's actually AV on that one. 2 pearls, seed bead, the light pink, and then I actually did the lighter pearls. Some of the pearls were lighter, so I put the lightest pearls at the end here. I tried to. And you could see now, the holes on these pearls, they're fresh water. They are so small that I could not feed my tail back through, so I had to cut my tail off at the crimp tube. Okay, so that's my pattern, and I gotta show you. You know, I use all the time these cutters here. I tried so many different cutters before I got these. These are Lindstrom's. Yeah, and of course I got one with a screwy name there. It's Lindstrom. Okay, that's what it says on there. I think these are the micro ones. They're smaller. There's another big one. I love these things so darn much. They're amazing. My other favorite cutter, where is it at? My other drawer. These are these. These are cheaper. Okay, this is like a $20 plier. This is Exuron. This is a $20 cutter. This thing is amazing. It's well worth the money. This is a flush cut. So when you cut wire, the end that you cut, if you cut this end towards the wire, it will be flat. Now these, when you cut the wire, they do leave a like this, like a little, right, that's how it's shaped. It's not that bad though, like I've seen it much worse with other ones. But these cut just about everything. I think they also said that it works on memory wire. But I don't remember for sure, and I would never risk it because I have memory wire cutters. But anyways, these are amazing, right? So I use these all the time. Not just for cutting wire. I also use them for beading wire. And actually, I use them more to cut my fire line, because fire line is really hard to cut. So I use these Lindstrom's all the time. But I did realize, to get closer, these are cuticle nippers. Okay, this is my new pair. I have another pair that's rose gold. These are here. These are kind of getting dull on me, but I had recently bought these. I always get them cheap at Home Goods, Marshalls, but everywhere else they're like 10 and up. They can give it up to like 20 bucks. Anyways, these is what I'm trying to point out. These cuticle cutters, these will cut your wire the closest compared to all the other cutters. So when you have to cut off your tail, you can't pass through a bead. Just look at how close I got that. Okay, like these are amazing cutters, but even when I cut them as close as I can, sometimes I could still see the wire sticking out. So these cuticle cutters, they just cut every little bit off, and they are super sharp, as you could see. But yeah, that's a tip for you in case you don't know about it. The cuticle cutters are amazing for cutting, and also fishing line. I use that stuff a lot. Okay, so that's one of my bracelets there. Okay, so my leftovers, I don't have a lot. I have one of these big ones. I was actually really trying to use that one, but because I couldn't do 5 bracelets, I had to remove that bead. And I almost used those 2 caps and those 2, and I would not really have that much left over. But yeah, I was also thinking about making earrings, because these little cage things are really amazing on the earrings. But I would not have been happy with those there at the bottom. I would have wanted something more fancier. Okay, so let's go to the necklace now. This is a little charm that came in the kit. It's a clear heart. Now, I don't know if this is crystal or not, or maybe even preciosa, because if you study it, it's made perfectly. The heart, the sides, the facets, how it's designed. It's not a Chinese heart, I don't think. And so I was trying to put a jump ring on it, but it was too thick. It wouldn't go on for a bail. And I don't have pinch bails that would work with this, and so I just took and did a wire wrap loop. Okay, so what you do is you take your wire. This is 24 gauge, by the way. I had to do really thin because the hole is super tiny and I did not want to break this heart. I slid the heart on, bent the wire up, did a wire wrap loop, and then I cut my wire and I did a second wire wrap loop on the top. Wait for my camera to focus. Can you see that? Now underneath of this is 1 seed bead, and I have a forget-me-not flower on each side. And then this 7mm fire polish, okay? And there's seed beads in between, again, like in my last tutorial. In between all of the beads, I have 11O check hematite colored seed beads, okay? So see the seed beads? And then I have the 7mm fire polish. This huge bicone, it's amazing quality. Again, I don't know if it's check. It might be seed bead, my flower, another fire polish, and then the tiny bicone that is the same color. It's a 6mm as this one. I think this bead's 10mm. Okay, and then after this, I started doing this pattern. So it's a shell, pearl, rose quartz, the flower, the 7mm fire polish and the flower. And then that is repeated throughout the rest of the design. And I just made sure that it was symmetrical on both sides. Okay, and at the end, I made sure to use the rose quartz bead last because these actually do have large holes, and I hid my little tail inside of them, and it's only as long as the bead is, so it's like 6mm long. And I had to go into my stash, and I just got out some of these clasps that I had leftover from another project. So this is also actually from Softflex. And then I got 8mm split rings because they're awesome for the back of your neck. They're easy to put on. And I did the Softflex crimps. But that is pretty much it. It's a very simple, but yet very cute, pretty. It actually kind of has, to me, like a princess vibe, but then like a goth vibe. Like it's mixed to me, if that makes sense. By the way, in case I get asked, why didn't I show how to do crimping or tying elastic knots? And the reason why is because I have done several, and I mean several, videos showing how to do that kind of stuff. You can go back through my almost 900 videos and see that stuff. But for this one, since I was just mostly doing bead stringing, I wasn't doing any bead weaving, I thought I would just finish the projects and come back and share with you guys what I made. Alright, so that's why I didn't do that. Now, I am still collecting donations to get a new video camera. There's 3 ways you can donate. The first way is through YouTube. So down here in the corner you'll see a square, that's the full screen button. Below the square, down here, you'll see a circle with 3 dots. Click Super Thanks and you can donate there towards the camera, but YouTube takes 30% of it. I actually recommend that you donate through Venmo or Cash App. Down here below in the description bar you will see Venmo and Cash App, and you can donate there, and all of it goes towards the camera. Any amount you can donate is greatly appreciated. I hope that you guys enjoyed this project share, and this is it. Please like this video, leave me a comment, subscribe if you want to see more of my videos, and make sure you click the bell button so that you get notified whenever I upload new videos, and follow me on my social media sites. I'm on Instagram, Pinterest, and X. Thanks for watching.